Ato and Ray, so cool to meet you both.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
As an actor, you get to go places that we don't, us ordinary people don't get to go to, including yourselves in real life. So what is it like? I get it's make believe, but what is it like to pretend you're going to space, Ray?
The first experience is, well, it was the phone call I received 2 weeks before I arrived in Vancouver, which is telling me from Jeff, our producer, that we're going to be rehearsing these wires and doing the wire work, which I knew, but he was like, work on your core, because it's all about the core. And I'm like, dude, this is 2 weeks. So that, cut to me like press ups, sit ups, working. And then when you get there, that was an incredible experience going up in the wires. And it made me learn, like, you get in there day one and you're getting that feeling of what it's going to be like to represent zero gravity, but you can't do anything. You can't even move. You can literally stand up in these things. And then a little bit every day. And we had an amazing stunt team that took us through this. And it reminded me how practice really does make perfect, and just doing little bits every day. And then cut to 2 weeks later, we're doing flips and spins and, kicking balls in the air. It's amazing. But the experience of learning zero gravity and doing it through wire work was incredible.
Yeah, because Ato, I was going to ask you, because Kwesi actually says, he's gotten on board, and his first line is, I'm still trying to get used to this zero gravity thing. Yes. How long did it take you to get used to it? Because, it's one thing trying to act, and then trying to act and feel like you're not getting sick at the same time.
Yeah, like Ray, I got that same call where we have 2 weeks of working on this stuff. And the funny thing is, I used to want to be an astronaut when I was a kid, and I would watch the guys in space, the people in space, and the weightlessness. And I thought, well, that looks easy. They're floating. They're flying. Look, they can throw things and it comes to them. But as Mike Massimino, our astronaut consultant, told us, everything in space is hard. And now we're trying to replicate that hard stuff with wires, hanging from wires. Just imagine hanging like this and trying to talk like you're not straining. It's impossible. But we all got really good at it by the end of 2 weeks. And I think by the 10th episode, I think all of us really got a hang of it. That
literally.
Literally got a hang of it. Yeah. But it's a trip. As an actor, all the thing that you get to do. I've been acting for years and years and years, and I'm still amazed that people pay me for this. Like, you're paying me to be my childhood dream. Okay, cool. That sounds great to me.
Well, see, I love both of your entries into acting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Ato, did you get in as a result of a dare? And Ray, you got in because of some jealousy thing? I'll start with you first, Ato.
Yeah, my girlfriend, I was going to school to get a chemical engineering degree, and I was randomly called to do a play because somebody dropped out, and my girlfriend dared me to do the play. And up until that point, I knew what acting was, but like I come from a family of scientists and doctors and people like that with practical jobs. So I never understood that actors were people who got paid to do what they did on screen. And so when I did it, I got the taste in my mouth and I couldn't get it out. And so I, much to the chagrin of my parents, said, I'm going to try to get into this acting thing. And luckily it's worked out. But yeah, it was a dare. It was a dare. And I think I owe my ex-girlfriend some residuals at some point.
That's okay. It's fine. And Ray, you were attracted to this at a very young age, but how did jealousy at such a young age drive you to this?
Well, I was an extremely shy child, and but I remember being in school, and this kid that was in my class, sort of blonde hair, blue-eyed boy, was in TV, he was in like McDonald's commercials, he was on TV shows, and he got an incredible amount of attention from the girls in class. And I remember just being extremely jealous because I was the shy kid in the corner. And I went home one day and I said to my mum and dad, I want to do acting. And they're like, are you sure about this? You don't even speak to anyone. And I was like, no, I want to give it a go. And thankfully, they phoned around some local drama schools at the time. And one of them said, oh, tell Ray to come down on a Sunday and come and watch and see if he enjoys it. And I went to this class on a Sunday. I sat at the back of the room and I watched all these extrovert kids, you know, singing and dancing and flamboyancy. And it was excruciating and hard for me. But there was something about the acting, that the singing and dancing, I knew I didn't stand a chance in, but it was something when I was watching people act, I was like, I just connected with it. And it was enough to make me keep coming back every weekend. And I kept going back. And I never got any of the roles because they were all musicals they would put on. And then one day they decided to do a play. And of course they cast me in one of the main roles. And I had this really profound moment on stage. And I was like, this is what I want to do for a living. And I never really looked back.
Wow. I love, I read a quote of yours when you were talking about ambition, because this is the tough bit. You really want to be ambitious, but there's this fine line. And I've heard you say, I'm extremely ambitious about what I want to achieve. And as I've worked on myself over the years, I've realized how more comes when you lose the striving for it. And that's that tough fine line where you go, I want this, I have to work really hard. But where's that fine line between desperation and also holding up back a bit and letting the thing happen for you?
Yeah, I think, well, I can certainly relate it to my career. There was always, as actors, it's extremely competitive industry. We all feel like that one opportunity can change our lives and our situation in our careers. You know, I was, as a young actor, I'd go on a family holiday and then I'd get an audition for something that I thought could really change my life. And I'd be out we'd only arrived like 2 days before, and I'd be like, guys, I'm flying back home because I need to go to this audition. And it was things like that. And, you know, it took me a long time to realize it's such a minefield, this industry. You have to learn to let go and you have to just put it out into the world. And as soon as I started taking my eyes off myself a little bit and just letting it be, I realized things started coming to me more. But it is a fine line. But I just feel like, I can only do it to talk from my experience, and my experience of just letting it go a little bit ended up working for me.
Cool. And finally, Ato, I think one of the special things about this industry as well is every project you work on, whether it be good or bad, you take something from you, with you. This is a great project to work on. What did you take from this? What message did you take into your life?
Well, the sense of family. I think as the cast, we sort of came together like the crew was supposed to or was meant to in the show. And we have all of these people from disparate cultures and backgrounds and experiences. We're working with Hilary, Swank, you know what I mean? And everybody, we all came together as a family because everything that we were doing was hard. It's hard hanging from wires for 4, 5, 6 hours. Now, if you're hanging from wires with somebody you don't like, that's going to be a problem. So we all came to accept and love each other. And it became really, really fun just to walk on set and to figure out what we're going to do. Hey, today we're launching. This is great. And sitting on a fake spaceship that's really shaking is incredible. So that's what I took. I took a lot of fun and a lot of family from this particular project.
Well, that's come across on screen, and I, for one, enjoyed it. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.